In the frozen, lightless depths of the Norse cosmos, where the roots of the world tree Yggdrasil drink from the well of shadows, lies the realm of hell. This is not a place of fire or brimstone, but a world of suffocating mist, eternal frost, and the silent, shuffling footsteps of those who died without glory. At the very edge of this desolate kingdom, where the living dare not tread and the dead cannot leave, stands the Nibelheimr cave, the yawning mouth of the underworld. Guarding this jagged threshold is a creature born of ancient darkness and primal hunger, a beast whose name is whispered with dread even by the Einherjar in Valhalla. This is Garmr, the blood-stained hound of hell, the massive sentinel who ensures that the boundary between the quick and the dead remains absolute. Garmr is not merely a wolf or a dog, but a manifestation of the inevitable end, a mountain of fur, muscle, and malice stained with the crimson of 1,000 failed escapes. His eyes do not reflect light, instead they burn with a dull, internal amber glow, like the dying embers of a world that has forgotten the sun. For eons, Garmr has been chained to the damp, slick stone of Nibelheimr, his massive iron links echoing with a heavy, rhythmic clatter against the cave floor. These chains were forged by the gods themselves to contain a fury that threatens to swallow the very foundations of the Nine Realms. The hound's breath is a freezing fog that carries the scent of ancient earth and stagnant water, chilling the souls of those who passed before him. To the spirits of the departed, Garmr is the final judge, his low, vibrating growl a reminder that there is no turning back from the gates of hell. He sits upon his haunches, his ears twitching at every sound, listening to the secrets whispered by the winds that blow between the worlds. Every drop of blood that stains his chest is a testament to his duty, a physical mark of the violence required to keep the cosmic order in place. Garmr's existence is defined by a singular focus: the gate must remain shut, and the dead must remain still. He is the shadow of the goddess Hel herself, the silent executor of her will, a creature of duty that knows neither mercy nor fatigue. While the gods of Asgard feast and fight, Garmr waits in the damp gloom, his presence a constant shadow over the joy of the living. He is the ultimate symbol of the contained narrative, a powerhouse of energy bound by iron and law, waiting for the moment his chains will finally snap. In the silence of the underworld, Garmr's mind is not empty. He remembers the dawn of time when he was first placed at the gate. He remembers the faces of heroes who tried to storm the gates of death to retrieve lost loved ones, only to be met by his bared fangs. He is the gatekeeper who cannot be bribed, the guardian who cannot be fooled, and the beast that cannot be tamed by any mortal hand. The mystical nature of Garmr lies in his connection to the concept of the bound beast, a recurring theme in the myths of the North. Like Fenrir the wolf and the Midgard serpent, Garmr represents the chaotic forces that the gods have suppressed but can never truly extinguish. His howl is not a cry of pain, but a proclamation of a coming storm, a vibration that travels up the roots of Yggdrasil. When Garmr howls, the leaves of the world tree tremble, and the seers in Midgard wake from their dreams in a cold sweat. It is said that his voice is the first chord in the symphony of the apocalypse, the signal that the end is no longer a distant prophecy. Throughout the ages, Garmr has watched the steady stream of souls entering Hell's Hall, Elgenir, their eyes hollow and their spirits weary. He does not hate them, for hate is an emotion for the living. He simply observes them with the cold curiosity of an eternal predator. He is the ultimate personification of the boundary, the thin line between existence and the void where memory dissolves into the mist. The blood on Garmr's chest is often interpreted as the blood of the dying, symbolizing the physical cost of passing from one state of being to another. In the myths, Garmr is often confused with Fenrir, but his role is distinct. He is the custodian of the end, the one who stays while others roam. His character is one of tragic loyalty. He is a prisoner of his own purpose, chained to the very gate he protects. He is the dog of the abyss, a creature that understands that without a gatekeeper, the world of the living would be overrun by the ghost of the past. Imagine the sheer weight of the silence in Nibelheimr, broken only by the sound of Garmr's heavy, wet snout sniffing the air. He can smell the fear of a king who died in his bed and the pride of a warrior who fell in a skirmish. To Garmr, they are all the same. The iron collar around his neck has worn the fur away, leaving a scar that looks like a dark crown, marking him as the king of the hounds. He is a creature of the earth and the stone. His skin is tough as the granite of the mountains, and his teeth as sharp as obsidian blades. Legends say that only one person has ever passed Garmr without fear, the god Odin. When he descended to hell to seek the wisdom of a dead seeress, even the All-Father paused before the hound, acknowledging the terrible power that dwelt in the shadows of the cave. Garmr did not bow, for he is a servant only to the laws of the universe. Standing outside the petty squabbles of gods and giants, his focus is the pivotal moment of the howl, the act that defines his place in the timeline of the universe. This howl is a bridge between the peace of the present and the chaos of the future, a sound that tears through the fabric of reality. As the centuries turn into millennia, Garmr feels the chains of Nibelheimr growing thin. the iron weakened by the corrosive breath of time. He knows that the era of his confinement is drawing to a close, and a dark anticipation begins to burn in his amber eyes. The frost on the cave walls begins to melt, not from warmth, but from the friction of the shifting world. Garmr begins to pace the length of his chain, his claws digging deep grooves into the stone floor, creating a path of sorrow. He is waiting for the signal, the 3 winters without a summer, the Fimble winter. That will signal the beginning of the end. During these dark years, Garmr's hunger will grow, a spiritual famine that can only be sated by the blood of the gods. He dreams of the battlefield of Vigrid, the plane where the final conflict will take place, where he will finally be free of the cave. His character represents the inevitability of the shadow. No matter how much light we create, the guardian at the gate still waits. Garmr is the reminder that death is not a passive event, but a fierce and active presence that guards its domain with ferocity. The mystical focus of this story is the tension between the leash and the beast, the control and the impulse. We all have a Garmr within us, a part of our nature that is bound by social laws and personal restraints, waiting for its moment to speak. But Garmr's story is also one of cosmic balance. He is the lock on the door that prevents the universe from collapsing into itself. If Garmr were to leave his post prematurely, the cycle of life and death would be broken, and the souls would wander lost in the void. Thus, his evil is a necessary one, a dark grace that provides structure to the journey of the soul. The blood on his fur is not a sign of cruelty, but a sign of the struggle inherent in the transition of life. As the prophecy of Ragnarok approaches, Garmr's growl turns into a low, mournful song for the world that is about to perish. He sees the golden halls of Asgard beginning to tarnish, and the hearts of men in Midgard turning cold and bitter. He hears the sound of brothers fighting brothers and the breaking of oaths that once held the societies together. Every broken promise is a link in his chain that cracks, bringing him one step closer to the light of the surface. Garmr is the mirror of the world's moral decay. As the world loses its way, the hound at the gate grows more restless. The howling at the gate is a warning to those who think they can outrun their fate, or ignore the shadows they leave behind. When the sky finally splits and the giants march across the Bifrost, Garmr will give one final, earth-shattering pull. The iron will snap, the stone will shatter, and for the first time in history, the hound of hell will be unleashed. He will run through the mist of Niflheim, his paws leaving tracks of fire on the frozen ground as he heads for the world above. His destination is the Godter, the brave one-handed deity of war and justice, who is destined to meet him in combat. This confrontation is the ultimate focus of Garmr's narrative, the clash between the law of the sword and the hunger of the grave. Tyr, who sacrificed his hand to bind Fenrir, must now face the beast that guards the entrance to the end. In this battle, Garmr is not just a dog. He is the embodiment of everything that takes away the lives, the peace, and the future. They will fight on the bloody grass of Vigrid, a dance of steel and fang that will end in the fall of both. Garmr will take the god of war with him into the dark, ensuring that even the bravest must eventually pass through the gate. But before that moment comes, we must look at Garmr as he is now, the silent, patient watcher in the cave. There is a strange dignity in his stance, a regal quality to the way he carries the weight of his terrible duty. He does not whine, he does not beg, and he does not ask for a different fate. He is Garmr, and he knows that his presence is what makes the light of Valhalla seem so bright. He is the contrast, the deep bass note in the song of existence that gives the melody its meaning. For those who study the myths, Garmr is a teacher of boundaries, of knowing where we end and the unknown begins. He challenges us to look into our own Nibelheller, the dark places of our minds where we keep our fears chained. What happens when our own chains break? What howl do we release into the world when we are finally free? Garmr's story is a pivotal moment in the Norse psyche, a realization that the end is always standing at the door. The mist of Helheim is thick today, and the hound's silhouette is barely visible against the gray stone. Only the occasional flash of amber eyes tells the traveler that the guardian is still awake and still watching. The dripping of water from the stalactites counts the seconds of the long, cold eternity of the underworld. Each drop is a heartbeat, each breath a century, as Garmr waits for the dawn of the final day. His patience is as deep as the roots of the world, and his resolve is as hard as the frost that never melts. Let us respect the hound at the gate, for he does the work that no one else is willing to do. He carries the blood so that we may walk in the light, and he stays in the dark so that we may find our way home. The mystical figure of Garmr is a bridge, a sentinel, and a warning, all rolled into one magnificent, terrifying form. As the wind howls through the canyons of the dead, listen closely to the pitch and the tone. Is it just the air, or is it the low, rumbling throat of the beast beginning to wake from its long slumber? The story of Garmr reminds us that every story has a gate, and every gate has a guardian that must be faced. Whether we meet him with a sword in hand or a prayer on our lips, Garmr will be there. bloodstained and eternal. He is the master of the threshold, the lord of the limits, and the howl that echoes through the halls of history. As we conclude this journey into the depths of hell, remember the image of the hound standing tall at the mouth of the cave. May we find the strength to face our own guardians with the same courage that Odin showed in the presence of the beast. And may we understand that the shadows are not there to haunt us, but to define the light we carry. Garmr has settled back into the shadows now, his duty continuing in the silence of the frost-bound realm. The gate is secure, the dead are at rest, and the hound waits for the world to turn once more. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of myth. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe to the Storycraft Studio channel for more legendary tales.